This is a test recording to see if I'm heard through my Bluetooth. So this camp right here is the camp of the father with the tribe that I'm associated with, and that that little thing right there is very memorable for me, as is the rest of that. During one Ramadan, I think it was 2021 that I stayed out here. It was Ramadan during the summer, and for reasons that I'll get into later, or have explained to some people who are probably watching this, I was like, okay, predominantly, okay, quick explanation. A lot of people, predominantly males here in Jordan, when it's during Ramadan, if they're talking to a Westerner, and they ask you if you've ever fasted, like, generally a lot of Westerners will be like, oh yeah, I've like gone without food, but then they'll ask, well, have you gone without water? And a lot of times, most of us will be like, well, no. And so a lot of times, especially the younger males, they'll be like, well, it's probably because you can't, or you don't have like the capacity to. And for those that know me, it's one of the dumbest fucking things you could ever say to me. Because if you keep doing it, you get on my nerves enough, I'm going to do something so far beyond what you've the capacity to do, and I'll throw it in your face that I'll never hear you open your goddamn mouth again. So what I did was I hiked from the village, which is about 10 kilometers away, all the way over there, back behind this mountain here, if I recall correctly. Or maybe it was that one, I'm not certain. And I did it with no water in the middle of the day, and I didn't have water like 18 hours before I started either. So by the time I finished, it was horrendous. It was like, I will never do that again. That was my fucking ego, which was dumb because I could have fucking died. So from the village, it's about 10 kilometers from here. Where I'm at now, it's about 12. Camp I stayed at last, no, it's probably about 10 or 11 still. All the way to the mountain that I showed you earlier. And then I get over this thing here, this little mound, this little hill. And then I'm walking from here to there. And I'm just sitting there thinking like, okay, keep going. You said you were going to make it back to the village. And I couldn't maintain a thought. I only had like singular fucking focus. And it was horrendous. Like I couldn't think in any complex manner. It felt like my nerves were fucking itching, which was like really weird. Like I felt like the inside of my muscles were like itching, if that makes any sense to anybody. The people who I know who have had like extreme dehydration to the point of like heat exhaustion where they've had to go to the hospital, like they typically like understand, because that's what those symptoms were. And my dumbass was like, nah, you're just being a fucking bitch. Also, for those who like know me, how you normally hear me articulate myself in general, like that's, how I'm speaking now, that's how I really fucking talk most of the time. When I'm being like lazy and chill. So I was like, nah, you're a fucking bitch. Like, that's why you can't fucking make it back there. And there was just like this thing in the back of my head that gets me into and out of trouble. Is like, I looked at the fucking camp over here and I saw it and I was just like, I just stopped. I stopped about like right here. I don't even think I made it to there. I got almost to there. I think I stopped there is when I initially thought about it. And I was like, no, don't be a bitch. Like, keep fucking going. And I got either to the base of that or close to it. And I was like, if I try and go that other fucking 10 kilometers, I'm fucking dead. Like, I'm just gonna fucking drop down dead here. Like, drop down in the sand. Nobody's gonna fucking see my black ass. And just fucking it. And so I like walked from there to here. And I was just like, and I I couldn't talk, I couldn't think, I could barely stand. I just fucking, fuck that. And then I was like, now that I was like in some air, like in an air conditioned area, well, not air conditioned, but it was out of the fucking, It was out of the Sun back over here. And I was like, okay, I'm just gonna pound water. And then, like, elements of my training kicked in. It was like, okay, water's not gonna be like the best thing ever. Like, you also need like some sugars and some salt. And so I made like 2 or 3 glasses of lemonade and water, and I just and then the sun had finally set, and I fucking, like, he gave, like, there's a guy here named Abusada, and he, like, gave me some eggs, and I took, like, 1 or 2 bites, and I felt stuffed. Like, I was like, I couldn't even fucking eat, really. So yeah, it was, like, one of the dumbest fucking things I've ever done in my entire goddamn life. But I loved the fucking, how hard that shit was. I can't wait to be out here with my brothers, amongst the others. The challenge of this place.